Hi there, guys. Um, so I'm gonna finish this video. I had started this video, um, got interrupted when I had decided to eat and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish this video. Um, these offers of glare through the glasses, but so this video, um, because I had to think about, even though I want to talk about it, a lot of times, I have to ask myself, well, what is the point? Like, what are you trying to actually resolve? What's going to be the message in this video? So, really just coming on here, just making videos is not for me. I don't know about other content creators. I know for me, um, I don't want to just get on here and rant or whatever, or just talk about a problem. I want to um, there has to be some type of a solution, some type of a something for me. It's just kind of the person that I am. I have to know how something, once I express it, once I get it out, I need to know that there is a solution, or there is either, even other people that can come along together and we all come up with a solution, or, sometimes in just talking about something, there can be a revelation to how things can be different. And so I don't know the solution to this problem, but I absolutely want to bring it out because it's something that is really not talked about. It's still one of those hidden type things, which is another reason why it's kind of taken me a long time to talk about it, even though I've been wanting to talk about it, but it's just like nobody else is talking about it. So am I just going to come off as being racist, prejudice, or just bringing up something that nobody else has an issue with? But I believe, and I truly believe that other people have a problem with it. I believe it's very, very well seen. Um, I just think once again, it's one of those things that a lot of people don't really know what to do about because nobody else really talks about it. Now, it's known among people, uh, especially in the Black community. But I only recently saw a few months ago a woman, actually his Hispanic woman, on TikTok who actually brought it out and put like a realness to it because it was her culture. And she like basically testified to the fact that, yeah, this is something that is absolutely a real thing. And so, um, what I want to talk about is kind of the issue that is so prevalent among Hispanic women and Black women, or women of Latin origin, whatever you want to say, that whole culture and their hate, and just the fact that they really just don't deep down really like Black women. And it's very hard for a lot of them to hide it. It's very prevalent. It's very, very prevalent. But like I say, a lot of people really don't put, now that I'm talking about this, and see, this is how this works. Once you start talking about it, then things start coming up. Um, and I want to quote something that is so truthful that Cynthia G always brings out. I think one of the reasons why you don't hear about the animosity or whatever, uh, and just blatant animosity a lot of times with women of Hispanic origin, that whole, like I said, I'm talking about that whole culture thing, uh, towards Black women, is because I really do think so much of everything that goes on as far as things being unfair, things being put a spotlight on, is really geared toward Black men. And so Black women kind of just get shoved under the bus, even though we get a lot of hate. We get a lot of injustice. We got a lot of stuff, but the vocal point is usually never on us. It's usually on the black man and how much of a victim he is. And a lot of times we do perpetuate that. We do go along with that. And we kind of take on the black man's struggle, even though we struggle just as much. And sometimes I'm going to say, if not more, because then we have the double up with the black men actually exploiting us, hating us, and trying to oppress us and the whole thing. So we really get it, you know. It's not popular to talk about Black women's struggles. It's not popular, uh, but it is real and it needs to be. And I think so many of us Black women are just so used to hiding and covering and protecting our men and our boys and our dads and our fathers and our the male image, Black male image. Uh, because it is cultural. It's been taught. It's just something that we do. I think many of us do it really without even realizing that we do it. Um, but I really hope and pray that that psychology that Cynthia G talks about so much will actually become a thing. Black male worship, because it is a thing. you know. Just unfortunately, it's not going to be a thing though until it becomes that topic and everything becomes actually mainstream, which we know mainstream is not until it hits the white audience. But I think if we keep talking about it, I think if we keep bringing it up and and putting legs to it and really showing that it really is real, that I think it would happen. And I think the importance of it is to help the Black woman struggle, to help Black women, period. But anyway, so that's really the gist of it. That's really, really the gist of it. But, I did want to bring out, because this channel is about me and my experiences. It's not about conspiracies or things that I've heard or things like that where people can come and tell me, oh, that's not true, that didn't happen. I bring about my own life experiences because no one can tell me that that didn't happen. It did. And I know and believe and hope that by sharing my experiences, other people can come along and be like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, you know, and ultimately get healed and ultimately get better from it by acknowledging it. Acknowledgement is a huge healer. A lot of times we don't look at it like that, but acknowledging something and putting realness to it is it's real. It's real, and it can cause you to be healed. And so, um, I guess I'll just speak briefly on the most current situation that I'm in, dealing with women, Hispanic women, or women of Latin origin. Um, you know, um, so, and this is a job situation where um, I actually, though, just left. Um, I don't feel bad about it. I feel very good about it because I have already two potential job interviews that is already making more money, and that is doing more of what I like. More, it's still serving because that is. I mean, I'm just a caregiver by heart. Like I know my job is to serve, um, which I think is really a part of life. Everybody's here to serve. It's just what capacity you find yourself serving in. And I want to, anyway, this particular job is going to get me into a better area of service, a more fulfilling area of service, and I'm going to be making more money, so that's great. But this, where I'm leaving from, is a is the business owner is a foreign person, not black, but still from one of those dark skinned countries over there. I don't want to tell too much. Uh, but anyway, many of the people, yeah, and right now with COVID, I mean, everybody is having a really hard time getting workers who will work and will stay and whatever. So there's been a shortage from when since I've been there up until still now. And I've been there a minute. It wasn't it's just I know a few month things. I've been there, a little bit. And things have been fine and going well, but there were things that I did begin to notice. I noticed that, a lot of the black women who work for the company, um, and even though I don't know all of them, I don't see any of them in leadership positions. But I do see the Hispanic women. All of them were in leadership positions, which I already know just from jump is a problem already. Because one of the things that I noticed, and this is a interactive video, I would love for you all to jump in the comments and let me know your experience or if you can attest to some of the things that I'm talking about. Um, One of the things that I learned and know, and I don't know if I need to throw out a disclaimer that I am not generalizing all Hispanic or people of Latin origin. I'm not grouping all of them together. I'm talking about, once again, my personal experience and things that, from my life that I have seen kind of generally happen. Um, so this is not to beat up, badger, talk about, try to make feel bad, any of that. I'm bringing out my experience. Um, with that said, um, generally, my experience from what I have seen in the places I've gone to, places I've lived, just as a general consensus, what I see is that those group of people seem to be very well knit into themselves even when they are, and it seems to me if they are on a job, uh, they are very big with hiring their own, keeping their own people, and really not letting really anybody else of any other uh, uh, culture or whatever race um, come in with them. They kind of hoard it all to themselves and they only hire their own. A lot of times you will see people. If there's even a fast food uh, that is, a lot of Hispanic people there, normally it's kind of like all of them working there. Like, and it's very few people of any other race working there because I've come to notice that that is something that they do. They only hire their own. Like they keep it all in the family. They don't hire anyone else. And if they do, like I say, they're not there long, and this is in the case that they have the absolute power to do the hiring. Uh, that's usually what I see. And if they begin to come in numbers, other groups of people start leaving, getting fired, quit, whatever, that's something else that I've always seen. And so, um, the black women that I know work for this company. I don't see them in any leadership position. I don't see black men, even though there's not a lot of black men there. I don't see them in leadership positions. Um, all of them seem to be head by uh, Hispanic women or some of the white women, which is not very many either. Um, and so I have seen and known and found that to be a problem, especially for black women, because eventually we do just get booted out. Um, the prejudice, the just obvious animosity begins to show and grow, and it makes it very unbearable for black women to stay. I've talked to a couple of other black women who've worked there, and uh, they all seem to not be very happy and eventually leave. Um, Things with me had been pretty good for a while, but mostly because I kind of work by myself. But at the end of the day, when I began to start having interaction with more of the Hispanic women and For whatever reasons, I began to, I mean, you feel very belittled. You feel like, like they treat you like you're stupid. They treat you like, I'm here and, you're there and, you need to acknowledge the fact that I'm here and you're there, and that's the kind of um, attitudes that would come off and that you would see, you know. I remember one time I'll bring up this particular, and see, here's the thing with me. First of all, I've been doing what I do for a very long time. I would dare to say I am an expert at it. I know I could do it in my sleep because I've done it so long, and because I enjoy it, and I've made it my life's work because it's what I want to do, you know. And so I'm not saying that I can't learn and grow, but I'm saying I don't need anybody, especially younger than me, trying to come and basically um, tell me what to do or how to do it and, make me feel as if I'm stupid, you know. So there was this one day when I had asked a question, not about like what to do, but it was a question about what does the company do in this situation. Uh, and it was a very simple question, wasn't nothing hard or complicated. I just didn't know what the company did in that case. I mean, I knew what to do just to know what this, because every company has different policies and procedures. And so I didn't know, since she had been there longer than I didn't know exactly what they did in this situation. So I asked, and next thing I know, I didn't even see her do it. I don't know if I, turned my back or whatever, but I do work with medications and, med cards and things like that. And so next thing I know, from a question that wasn't even concerning medication or anything like that, this lady goes and proceeds to, take my med card apart, start pulling out medications and all this kind of stuff. And so when I realized what she was doing, I asked him like, what are you doing? What are you looking for? Oh, well, I'm just making sure your medications are correct and, that, everything's in order and, you don't have an issue with anything. Now, mind you, this, first of all, like I said, I didn't ask her anything about medications. This is something she took upon herself, I guess, because she felt like she had the authority to do it. And, this is another thing where we all share the same title, even though I have more years of experience and a bit of a higher um, title than them. I wasn't working in my higher title on this particular job. So basically, we all have the same title. Nobody really is above anyone else. It's just the fact that I guess because they've been working for the company longer, they felt a little bit more, you know. And so yeah, I told her, I was like, yeah, I don't need help with my medications. I do my own medications. I do my pharmacy orders. I call the pharmacy myself. Everything's good. Everything's correct. All my counts are correct. My narcs are good. I mean, like, I don't need to do that, you know? Um, and so it wasn't a big exchange, but it did bother me just because of the fact that I'm like, why did you even feel the need to do that? Like I'm not stupid. I don't need you to come and clean up anything for me. I got this. Like my stuff is good. I keep my stuff right and good. I don't need your help with that. But you know. And so it was just a thing really of just a lot of belittling and I'm this because I have this position and I have these particular responsibilities, you know. And so it was just really that air of uh like a air of superiority that they carried, even though we're all the same, you know. And one thing about me, like I say, just being in the field that I am in for so long, I don't take kindly to people trying to tell me what to do and how to do it and treating me as if I'm stupid and I don't know. because I don't come off as stupid, and if I don't know, as if I don't know, I may come off um, as not saying a whole lot, and that's for a few reasons, mainly because I'm just observing, and mainly because, when I go to jobs and things like that, like I say, all the years that I've been in this, I don't do a lot of buddying up and, making a bunch of friends on the job, things like that, because, I found that that didn't work very well all the time. And then it's just kind of my personality. I'm very laid back, kind of to myself. I'm not, never been a person that's had 15 friends. I've always been that person that had maybe two or three close ones. That's just kind of me. So that was that situation. Another situation that I always remember. This was years ago when I was still living in Houston. Um, I remember I was going. My mom was alive. I was going to visit my mom, and um, I wasn't driving. Um, and so I was on the bus. And with that, I would always, when I would go see my mom and take my son, he was a little boy at that time, I would go and take him there to visit her. And when I would do that, I'd always want to bring her some food, something to eat from a nice restaurant or something that she would enjoy. And I'd go to like the mall or someplace and buy her some type of gift or some type of something, perfume, body wash, whatever, anything, something nice. So I was in the process of doing that. But my bags were bursting. Like I had, I don't know, a bag or two or something. I wasn't bogged down with stuff. But my bag began to break. And so I was by this really high end, fancy, because I was downtown, this big high end, fancy uh, store, retail store. So I went in and I simply just wanted another bag. That's all I needed, just another bag just to carry because from the downtown area to where my mom lived, it was one bus, one shot. Like it wasn't nothing. Like wasn't gonna take me 20 minutes. It was really 10 minutes at the most. So but I needed a bag. So I went inside that store. First lady I encountered was a Hispanic woman. Um, and I don't know if she was at the jewelry counter, makeup counter, perfume counter, with something, but it was that kind of a store. And so I asked her, said, "Ma'am, can I get a bag? Can I, I'll buy a bag. Can I buy a bag from you?" She said, "Oh no, no, no." This was a Hispanic lady. "No, no, no, we don't do that. You can't buy a bag from here. No, we don't do that." And I'm like, I said, "Well, it's like I'll pay for it. I just need a bag, like just because my bags are bursting." And I showed her. I said, "No, no, no, you can't buy it back here. We don't do that here." And I'm like, "Okay, all right." So I looked around a little bit, saw a white lady over there at, I don't know, jewelry makeup counter or something. And so I walked over there to her. Oh, and the Hispanic woman walked off after she told me, "No, no, we can't do it. We're not gonna, we don't do that." So I went over there to the white lady and I'm like, I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I just need a bag." I'm like, "Can I buy a bag from you? Can I buy a bag from your store?" I see my bags are bursting, as you can see. My stuff is going to be on the ground, the food, everything. It's going to be a mess. And I say, "Can I just please buy a bag from you?" And she said, "Oh, sure, absolutely." She was just like, "You don't have to buy it." Just and then she went over there and she got the bags. "Here, this is fine. There's no problem. Like, have a great day. It's no trouble at all." And I was just like, "Thank you." you know, Thank you very much. I say because the lady over there, when I put it down, I'm like, the woman over there told me no, and that you all don't give out bags, even if I wanted to buy it. She would not give me a bag. She's just like, "Oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. It's no problem. Don't worry about it. Take the bag. It's free. You enjoy your day. It's fine." And I was just like, you just being wanted to be a bitch, you know? So I'm leaving out of the store and I am looking at her. And as I'm looking at her, of course, she's all behind the counter and she's walking off, acting like she don't see me. She saw me, and she saw exactly what happened. And I'm just like, why? Why? For what reason? You know? So, um, I remember another incident I used to have. I was going to a school, and this school, I think it was some type of a computer school or something. I don't remember all the details to it, but I think it was a computer school. I'm not even sure how I got into that program, but I got into this computer program. And as I was going to school, I was in a training. Um, there was it was early in the morning, so I think I had to be there, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Didn't really have a chance to like really cook and eat and all that stuff in the morning. So there was a Burger King that was on the way. And so I would go to that Burger King and I'm going to say I maybe went in there about 3 times. Um, and this was a Burger King. It was all Hispanic, nothing but Hispanic people in there. Uh, and I remember the very first time I went in there, like it was like the women were at the counters and they were just there, just like looking at me, just looking. And I felt them looking, but I'm paying attention to the board. I'm paying attention to what's up there, what I wanted to order, and things like that. And they were just like obviously ugly, just obviously. So when I'm ready to order, all these women are there. Some of them start going to the back and everything. And then this one girl is finally there. And, I'm like, I'm waiting for her to say, can I help you? May I take your order? Whatever. And she's just staring there looking at me. And I'm standing there like, can I order? Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. So, that first day, I really, I tried not to pay a lot of attention. I got my order and everything left out. And, there was no thank you. There was no just nothing. It was just, you could feel, you know. So the next time that I went in there, uh, I remember it was, well, I don't know if this was the next time I went in there. I think the next time I went in there, oh, yeah, okay. The next time that I went in there, I remember I asked for some ketchup because I like ketchup on my hash browns. So I got like 2 hash browns and they basically just gave me one ketchup. And, once again, I'm still like trying not to notice how ugly and cold they're being. Um, and I asked her, I said, well, can I get another ketchup? And she was like, oh, you have to pay for that. We don't just give out. We only give one. You have to pay for extra. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I ain't never heard that. And like all the Burger Kings I've ever been in, I'm thinking like, like where is that posted? Like how much is it? Like how much is a ketchup? You know? And I don't know. I think that woman told me 15 cent or something. I don't remember what she told me, but I think I gave it over, but I mean, I'm just feeling like some kind of way. And then she still only gives me one. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm just, didn't want to, I just went on left. The last time I went in there. And because by now I'm feeling like some kind of way, like I'm really edgy with going in there. Because now I'm thinking like it's kind of obvious that these women, for whatever reason, don't like me, don't like to see me coming in there. And I'm starting to think, what if they do something to my food at this point? Like really, that's where I'm at. So, but like I say, it was like really the only place that was closest to my school where I could really get some breakfast or anything. So this was the last time I went in there. I went in there. I remember there was an older white guy. It was a white guy and his son, like a teenage son, 12, 13, whatever. And they were having breakfast in there, whatever. I think they had just gotten their stuff and just sat down when I had walked in there. And so the young boy went back up to the counter. I remember, and he was like, "Can we get some more ketchup?" And the girl behind the counter, she was just smiling. Yeah, sure, no problem. She gave that boy a whole handful of ketchup. So, I mean, she had to, it was literally like coming out of one hand into the other. Like, that's how much she gave him. And I saw that and I'm thinking to myself, y'all charged me for one. And I wanted at that time, like, because I had to get to school, but that time, like, I really wanted to, like, ask her, like, how do you all give him a whole handful of stuff and y'all were ugly enough to try to charge me for one extra and tell me y'all don't just give out extra like that, like how, and so um with that, once again, nasty, cold, ugly treatment. And I said, you know what? Never. I'm never going in there again. I never did. Don't remember what all happened and how it all, um, where I got breakfast from or whatever. I don't remember all that. But like I say, that was just, it was just so very obvious. Um, Another time, uh, this is way back, but I remember my uncle used to bank at this bank. And my uncle had given me a check for something. And I remember going into this bank. Once again, this is downtown Houston. I remember going into this bank and it was white, it was white tellers and, like this Hispanic guy. Remember, I saw this Hispanic guy or whatever, but the rest of them I think were white or whatever. And so the line that I got in happened to be the line of the Hispanic guy. And I remember it wasn't a very long line. Wasn't a lot of people in the bank. And so he waited on this white guy, suit, tie. I mean, everybody was in there all, because it was downtown, so it was a business area. And so he got the white guy, and I was behind the white guy. And so after he finished with the white guy, he walked in the back. And I'm like, okay. So this is instead of calling me, it's not like he can see me. And I'm like, okay, so do I get in another line or do I just like, what do I? So I just kind of stood there and waited because nobody else was available. And so, like a few minutes later, he came back out, like, and the look he had, and the way he was slow strolling up to the counter was like, oh, damn, she's still here. And it was such a shade. And, I should have made a complaint. I was young. I should have made a complaint. I thought about making a complaint, but, I just let it go. And I'm just like, I, I just let it go. Then I thought, well, next time I come back down here, I'm going to make the complaint. But I don't think I ever did. It was just something that I noticed, he wasn't overly friendly. He would just kind of just, did the transaction and that was it. Um, and so, you know, one of the things that I noticed, now this is one thing with my son, and I'm gonna wrap the video up probably after this because I think I've made enough points. But this particular one was my son was of age to be able to get his first job. So the area we lived in, if any of you know Houston, Texas, there's a lot of Hispanic people. Like there are so many all over Houston. And so the black areas, of course, like a whole bunch of black areas are, infiltrated, or I won't say infiltrated, but they're a mixture, black and Hispanics, and, so it's kind of just the culture. And so my son, I was, helping him look for a job and everything. And so there was this one place that was hiring. And so I told him, I'm like, you need to go over there, get an application, whatever. And my son was just like, every time he went there, he was just like, Mama, they like, I don't want to go back over there. Like, they be saying they don't have no applications and, like they just be acting funny or whatever. So, that made me mad. And knowing the history, and by the way, I got a few more stories that I could really share with how they are. But, you know, and so this once again was a Hispanic guy because I went in there and I didn't tell them who I was or that my son had came and all that kind of stuff right at the beginning. But I asked, I said, are y'all hiring? And the guy was just like, yeah, I think we're still hiring. And I say, oh, because my son, he came to like get an application and everything, and y'all keep saying y'all don't have applications for him and, saying that y'all aren't hiring, you know. But the sign outside says that y'all hiring. And he was just like, okay, oh yeah, yo, we don't have no applications, but you can put your name and all that down, whatever. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So if I tell him to come back, he can do that, and he can get an interview, and oh yeah, 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 you can. So I told my son to go back. I sent him back again, mostly because he's just a good boy, you know. But in all reality, I probably should not have even sent him back again, just because they were just full of shit, and he could have gotten a job and did at other places. But I don't know. At the time, it was just kind of a principle thing for me. So he went back and he said that he got a interview time and when to be there and when to show up and all that. He told that to me and everything. And being the mom I was, I made sure he was there and he went there on time and everything. My son came back so mad because he was just like, Mom, I did all of that. I went there and did all that. And then people gonna tell me that the manager not there and I went at the wrong time. And I'm like, what do you mean you went at the wrong time? Like he told you when you were supposed to go and everything. He's like, yeah. He said they told me to come back such and such time. And then when I get there, they told me that I was too late and he wasn't there, or he was too early and he wasn't there, or just something. But he was just pissed. He was mad. He was pissed. And I was just like, okay, these people are just they don't want to hire black young black men. They don't want to hire you, because like I say, it was nothing but Hispanic people in there. And so, that's kind of one of them things. Like I say, I could keep on going. I could keep right on going with just how it is. But one of the things, we as black people, we always are talking about the white man and so forth, and this the whole what do they used to call it? Is affirmative action or something? It was something that where, they have to hire black people and stuff like that. But nobody ever uses that on anyone except for white people and white businesses. And I have for years thought that I don't know why people do not hold black people don't have as much problem with Hispanic businesses, Hispanic managers, and not even Hispanic establishments, but just establishments that, like I say, like in the hood, you'll find all Hispanic McDonald's, all Hispanic Burger Kings and Turkish chicken and all this kind of stuff. And there's ain't nothing but Hispanic people in there. And I just said to myself, like, why doesn't anybody ever bring that out? How these people don't hire other people? Like they are very blatant with it. Like they just will not. And like nobody holds them accountable. Nobody ever says anything about it. And it just goes on. And like I still, even to this day, I still don't see people really doing anything or calling them to the forefront about it. Now they'll go sue a whole white business, a business with white people or white establishment or white management or whatever. But they don't say anything to Hispanic people. You know, once again, even though that wasn't really about other people, but like a lot of the Arabs and stuff too, they don't hire other people in a black community. They will hire their own people. You know, the only other group of people that I have ever seen where black people, even in very small numbers, but still will uh they will hire black people is like Chinese or Asians, stuff like that. Now, I've seen black people in those type of establishments in the hood, at least. But Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think it's something that really needs to be brought out. I think it's something that needs to stop being hidden, because it's real. The way that they treat you, act towards you, shade you, um, is very prevalent. It's very prevalent. I mean, I have a few more that I could share about Hispanic women and how nasty and just ugly that they have been to me in my encounters. you know um but yeah, um it's real, and I would welcome more comments or experiences that maybe you all have seen. And once again, just before I end this video, this is not about bashing Hispanic people or people of Latin origins or anything like that, not at all, because I've met a lot of very nice ones. Matter of fact, on the job I just left, one of the ladies who work at night, she's a Hispanic lady, and she's cool. She's so cool. Matter of fact, she's from South America. Brought me back some South American candy from, I think it was from Guatemala. No, I know she's from I can't think of where she's from, but anyway, she brought me some very good dark chocolate um, from her country, and because she went on like a 3 week to a month long vacation, and I mean she's just a really nice person. Me and her, sat and talked about some of the issues and things that were going on there at the job before I left, and just down to earth, just a really nice person. So I'm not trying to generalize. I'm not trying to, you know, say they're all bad, but there's some history there. There's a certain type of mindset that they have and that they carry about Black people, Black women, and so forth. And it's just, you know, this last one I'll tell. My daughter's father, I don't even know if I've said that this in other videos. Sorry guys, I don't mean to move the camera. But my daughter's father is his dad is full blood Puerto Rican, and so and before I go into that too much, I know there's a lot of Black people who have this thing that, oh, well, they Black people too or whatever, but I don't know about. I mean, I get what they're saying. If they want to start going by the whole 12 tribes of Israel thing, like I know that teaching. At the end of the day, these people do not see themselves as Black, period. And I think that is where it matters at. Um, there are, I know some midnight Black ones from that Latin American culture, because I was actually dating before a very, very, very dark skinned guy from Dominica. Spoke, I mean, him and his family spoke fluent uh, Spanish or whatever. And like, you would just look at them like a house full of Black people, because I went to visit him, house full of Black people, because that's what they look like. But they were not, they were Dominican. And so I know that there are Black ones, you know, but for the most part, even a lot of times, even them really don't want to associate or what's the word I'm looking for? Identify themselves with like just regular normal Black people. Like they feel like they're different. So, but anyway, these women, we would go to this grocery store once again in Houston, me and him, and he looked very Hispanic. He really does. Just the way, I mean, his hair is like kind of straight, it's curly, but there's a way for him to straighten it. So it's really, really beautiful, curly, type, very, very fine hair. It's just pretty light skin, kind of high caramel colorish, brownish type skin. And at the end of the day, just look very, very Hispanic. And we would go to this particular Hispanic store in Houston. It's very, very popular. It's called Fiesta. So a lot of people, I mean, they're all around Houston. Shout out if you know Fiesta. And so we would go in there and I would be in there with him. And I tell you, the looks I would get from these women, from these Hispanic women, they would look me up and down. They would purposely let me see them rolling their eyes at me because I'm pretty sure they thought that he was a Hispanic man and I was with one of their men, and it was just, man, it was just like, and it was crazy because I'm just like, what the hell? Like, really? I mean, it was like every woman took her turn to look at me and roll her eyes or show the fact that, they don't think I need to be with him or whatever. And I'm just like, yo, yeah. So it was really crazy. I didn't like that experience. I didn't like going there. Eventually we stopped. We started going to other stores because I'm just like, yeah, the hate is real, and somebody gonna make me cuss them out like real, real bad. Over what I do in my private life, even if he was Hispanic, like what the f, you they ain't got nothing to do with you, like and it's amazing because when these same women get with black men, it's like there's no problem. You know what I'm saying? Like they're walking proud, like it was just crazy. It is a really crazy thing, but I wanted to bring that out. I wanted to bring the realness of that out because to me, it is a problem. It's a huge problem that never gets addressed. So, guys, leave me some comments, some examples, some testimonies, or whatever what you may have. I don't bring that out to cause division or cause hate. I bring it about because it needs to be talked about. It really does, because, like I said, it's a problem. you know. So, you guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, I'll see you next time.